Ibiza for Café Diem with your host Michelle Reed and my guest Andy Vincent. So not a normal 9 o'clock in the morning start today. We are coming to you live from our living rooms at about 2:30 Ibiza time today. So Andy, how many coffees have you had so far today?
That's a great question, isn't it? I've had 2. I've had to kind of like do that big cull where I dialed it in. So 2 is my limit, and I've had 2. So,
okay.
So yeah.
Cool. Because I find sometimes in the morning that if I have one too early, it can possibly lead to 3.
It can escalate.
Especially now with the heat in Ibiza. So you break it off at 2 always, do you?
Yeah, I do this like in flows of, I have periods where I'm really good, and then something happens. I like just a few habits click out, and I'm having coffee first thing in the morning, and then it's like a month later, and it's gone from 2 to 3, and I can go from 3 to 5 in not too a short period of time. So I sort of had to catch myself and dial myself back in again. So I've currently dialed back in, but I'm always very mindful trying to catch myself with these things.
The caffeine addiction is real.
It's just the whole process, isn't it? It's just like making it or going to the coffee shop, and because I work remote, so often I'll go for like a respite and go to a cafe, and it's just nice to get out of the house, and your first thought is like, I'll get a coffee rather than the juice. So
of course.
So yeah, it definitely can.
Coffee is so much more cost effective than a juice, especially in Ibiza.
Hell yeah. I got myself in trouble actually by complaining on social media about the cost of a juice in a certain restaurant, nameless, and then got kind of like shot down on my Instagram feed about it. It was like, sorry, your €9 juice is not good economy, I'm afraid. No. Anyway, that's the story.
But also, I saw that you, brave man, put that you like pineapple on your pizza, and my partner and I were like, that is a brave man, and we stand behind you, pineapple on pizza. And then you had to retract.
I got hammered for that. I didn't realize how many Italians or like half Italians that I know, and my DMs were just like, we have to have a conversation. I'm not sure we can be friends anymore. I was like, didn't even really
we stood behind you, but silently, sadly.
Oh, right. So you didn't press yes. I was actually insane that.
Oh,
I put that. I can't remember what the ended up being. It was like 52% in favour, which just shows that I know a lot of like classless Brits, basically. Pizza. As far as my Italian friends are concerned, I was like, I'm all for it. It was nice.
Cool. Well, we've quickly went from coffee to pizza. But I'm going to bring it back.
2 favourite things.
Two of my favourite things as well. Bring us back to coffee again, because I know you are a coffee man. I follow you. I've stalked you on Instagram long enough to know that you are a coffee man. So tell me, where's your favourite place to go for a coffee in Ibiza, Andy?
So I had a little bit of a problem when I first came to Ibiza, because I was in Soho before. I've only been here for a year, and my first kind of like drama was trying to find a good coffee, because I was in Soho, so it was just like I walk out my front door and there was just coffee shops everywhere.
Yeah.
And because I'm in the Marina, and I'm probably going to go more for location over coffee, I'm afraid, on this one, just because cappuccino is so close to me, and I get a beautiful view of Dort Via.
Right.
But if I am on my travel around the island, then I'll usually always go to Mecca Coffee in Sant'Eulalia.
Right.
But more often than not, I'll probably get swayed by the beautiful view into Dort Via.
Yeah, of course. Although if you go to Passion in Sant'Eulalia, who does serve Mecca Coffee, they have a beautiful view as well.
Very true. Yeah, very true. Passion's the one I got in trouble with my comment about smoothies though. So
they do a fantastic iced coffee at Passion though, I must say. And I know you like iced coffee as well. Another one of our bonds.
I do, yeah. Iced coffee and a cold brew. I'm currently doing cold brews.
Cool.
Cold brews are my thing.
Making them at home yourself, you mean? Or
say again?
Making them at home yourself, the cold brew?
Yeah, making them at home myself. Yeah, my friends got me onto them in London, and I was like, oh, I actually didn't know that's what cold brew was. Quite stupidly. Yeah. And it was like, oh my God, these are amazing. This is the way forward. And I can then I guess it's also buys back time, doesn't it? Like you can wake up, the coffee's good to go, you plunge, and I'm off. I haven't got to go through the whole brew, run it through ice. So yeah. It's been great.
Well, I'm pleased to hear that you are not a instant man, because we've had some personal trainers on the show before who swear by instant because they're so busy. So that's cool. I'll give it to them. But I'm pleased to hear that you actually, do you grind yourself? Grind your own beans?
Haven't at the moment. I did grind because I go to the shop I've been going to get them from at the moment. Roski, they've been pre-ground, but I have my grinder. It was one of the things that managed to make the trip from London to Ibiza was my juicer, my blender, and my grinder. So when I go past and I can get beans, normally I would get beans, but at the moment, at this present moment in time, I have ground. And just going back to the instant, I do quite like an espresso martini, and if I do espresso martini, then I'll do an instant, I'm afraid.
Really? You make it with instant? Interesting.
I just can't seem to get it to froth without it. I just mess it up. I haven't got the skill yet. So.
No, you need one of those things that both Neil and I have, those whizzers that is like a little like handheld device that whizzes up anything, or else you need one of those like the shakers.
I've got the shaker. I go mad with the shaker. I'm all for like aggressive shaking. And then, I've just been really disappointed. And my friend was making them and like, how do they look so good? So she educated me into the world of instant. So I do have a naughty kind of like, I hide it in the cupboard so you can't see it. But yeah, we've got some instant in there. Cool. But just for those moments.
Cool. Nice one. Cool, Andy. So from coffee, which I don't even know if we're both either drinking right now, but that's okay. We're going to spill
past my second one, sadly.
Yeah, there is a time where you do have to stop drinking it. So, but anyways, we do love coffee. So that's why this is brewed out of early mornings. So past 2 p.m., no coffee for me and for you by the sound of it as well.
Yeah.
Spilling the beans, Andy. So I know your history from just watching you on or Instagram, that sort of thing, but I'm very, very interested. I know you probably are one of the personal trainers and strength and conditioning coaches with most, the longest running, I think, on the island, from what I know anyway. Tell me your origin story, Andy. I want to know what got you into health and fitness in the first place. And I believe, I'm looking forward to hearing this. So tell me.
I haven't got a very exciting story. I kind of fell into it, in fairness. I was playing a bit of sport. I got injured I'm not a rugby player, but I managed to amazingly get injured playing rugby. And I was seeing a physio for a shoulder injury, and then I was getting lower back pain at the time. And the girl I was dating was just like, go and see my dad's physiotherapist, who turned out to be a personal trainer and Pilates instructor. And I was like, this is kind of cool. I was on a gap year from uni trying to decide what I was going to do with my life. And he was like, you can do like a 12-week course and you can be qualified as a trainer and you can do some massage. And I was just like, I was keen on the gym and just wanted to learn more. Never in a million years I think that it would be a career. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I got very much into like the exercise to music. This is back in 2000. So I've been coaching now for 20 years. So this is like a little independent gym. Was doing a lot of like group cycling, that kind of thing, their own version of body pump. And it was just fun. And up until from like 20 to 25, I got to train people, enjoy my job. And it was never particularly serious. And then I kind of had that decision that I wanted to do. My mum was always like, when you get a real job, this isn't like a career for you. So then I was like, I actually do really love this, but I want to kind of take it to the next level. So I want to go to London and do it properly. So then at that point I studied, just took on as much like courses, education, books as I could, moved to London. And then when you move to London from where I was in the outskirts of London, like the level of coaches just skyrocketed. And I walked in and was like very humbled by the level of knowledge that I was around. And it was at that point in time that I kind of considered myself to be a personal trainer, because everything before then I was just kind of like fun. So from 2008 onwards, because I wasn't university degree trained as a sports and exercise science, I sort of just had to try and elevate myself as much as I could to kind of like be on a par with some of the guys that I was working with. And where I worked in London was very much a centre of excellence. So education was a huge part of what we did. If you hit your targets, you were given a bonus to spend on education. We had an in-house education team, which I eventually joined. And so for me, it was just part of the whole experience, was to upskill yourself and upgrade yourself as far as education. So I've been very lucky with the timing of moving to that particular gym and being around some amazing professionals. And that sort of took me through to 2000 and 17. And then I was like, I'd done 11 years in London and was just like, I need a change, really. So, at that point, 9 years in London. So then I sort of transitioned my business online. So I was doing all in-person training, moved my business to being sort of 50-50 in person, online, and then made the plunge and moved to Ibiza in May last year.
So just a year.
So a year, yeah. And I've now transitioned to probably 75% online and just doing a little bit of in-person training. So
did COVID-19 help with that? I know you were far advanced before that, but I'm assuming that like after that,
COVID-19 was like skyrocket for my business. Yeah. So I was doing all right, I'll say. And I was doing a little bit, and I got a new business. I got a business coach in the latter end of last year who helped sort of restructure my back end business and just helped me a bit more with my marketing and my voice online.
Cool.
And then COVID hit, and everything got a lot easier. But I had the processes in place, and I'd been doing stuff like leading up to that, so it was a really nice little catalyst. And then so it's been like, for me, it's been pretty busy. COVID lockdown's been
I can imagine.
It's been a learning curve, but it's been pretty busy. Yeah.
What I like is that coaches need coaches. Hi, Danny.
100%. Danny's there. She's on the phone. You're gonna turn it in. And I've got a coach. I say this to my clients online all the time. I've got a coach who back in the UK, who's one of the mentors that helped me a lot over the years, and I don't think every coach out there that I respect has a coach, be that a business coach, be that a physical coach. I don't pretend for 1 second that I know everything, and there's obviously huge gaps in my knowledge, and I learn better from being around people than I do from reading books. So I do like to sort of, and it's just nice to have someone to soundboard off, and of course. And he's got different sort of belief systems to me. And I've had different coaches over the time, both from a business coach side of things and from a physical coach side of things. So he kind of he challenges what I believe. And that's been really good, because that's where I've really developed, because it's very easy to get into a fixed mindset of this is what I was coached and this is what I believed. So he's been good sort of to pull me in check when I've need to be. So I've actually felt like I've developed more in this period, just having the time to reflect and to be talking to him more and more.
Absolutely. And I think as much as it was difficult with the COVID or the lockdown that we experienced in Spain, which I guess you probably weren't expecting, hey, 2 months in our apartments.
No.
I saw that you made the most of your roof and tried to get out there as much as you could. It looks like you have a wonderful view from your flat, that's for sure.
Yeah, the whole thing was we were very lucky. The apartment's not that I could see the marina from here, and I can go onto my roof and I can look over to Dortmund again. So I'm not going to pretend that doing laps around my roof was the most exciting thing twice a week, but hey, it's better than nothing. I could still do 2 5Ks a week, which is more than most people could do. So I was very lucky.
Are you back at the gym now though?
I am, yeah. I started actually this week, and that's been really good. It's been a whole new level of soreness. I was very good and dialed it right back, but it's just natural. I've not been used to using external load for a little while, for a long while. I mean, I've not taken 2 months of training properly for a long time. So
no, agreed. It was actually 2 months off training and also probably a lot more food. I don't know if we indulged quite a bit at the very beginning.
Yeah, I guess I'm probably more of a drinker than I am. So I probably had too much wine, but my food, I am bizarre in that sense. I can keep my nutrition in check. But my alcohol intake is coffee and alcohol probably actually skyrocketed in that time. So it's easily done.
Is that that's another one of your specialities, though, is nutrition, right? So it's all all packaged with you, I believe, with your training.
I mean, I have this conversation with quite a lot of people. I'm not a nutritionist, but I give nutritional guidelines, and more than anything, I just give practical advice, because I've coached so many people over the years through nutrition and been around a lot of good nutrition coaches. I get very I get a bit frustrated with the industry, because it's very easy to give out nutrition advice, and I steer clear from my social channels because I'm not legally able to. And I get quite annoyed when you see people that I also know aren't legally supposed to be handing out nutrition advice that do. So I very much stay in lane. I give out nutritional guidelines. I help my clients just streamline what they do and give them practical tools to manage stuff in life. Because I think it's the industry definitely is doing things at the moment that don't sit so well with me from a kind of an ethics standpoint. And I want to make sure that I distance myself from that, because I know what I'm good at and I know what I'm legally allowed to do, and I sort of stick to that.
It was interesting. I just typed in body weight exercises into Instagram last night, and the amount of like junk that just came up, and it's like really like quite a lot of views. But I guess people still, especially in the US, I think they're like, they were in lockdown and they're out of lockdown, and it's like everybody's at home and everybody thinks that, you know, if they do a little bit of exercise at home, they can give exercise advice and nutrition advice as well. Social media is it's a bit of a scary place to be if you are uninitiated and looking for change or transformation. It can be a bit overwhelming for people.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's some amazing things on social media. So it's as positive as it is negative, and it's about like knowing who to follow. Well, it feels like it's about knowing who to follow.
Of course.
Nutrition and training are so accessible. We all move, we all eat. So, and we all love to share. Like, if something works for us, we want to share that advice. The truth is that if something works for you, that's not really relevant to anyone else. So I had a conversation with a client just now about a ketogenic diet. It's like, if it worked for someone, great. Like, you'd never tell someone not to do something. If it's working, it's making you feel better, they sleep better, great. Does that mean it's a one size fits all? No, it can't be that way. You have to be a little bit careful with what advice you're giving people. So yeah, because I'm going to say, be careful how I say this, but the entry level qualifications to be a trainer are low. So, and if you're at all savvy with social media, you can kind of like, you can get a very big profile very quickly, and you're playing on people's emotions, because a lot of people have obviously attachments and emotions involved to their body, the way they look. So yeah, you can get a lot of very bad advice. And you get PTs that know some stuff and use big words and try and make out they know everything or are much smarter than they actually are. Like as a coach, all we ever do is I just try and hand out advice that more intelligent people than me have passed down to me, and I feel has worked. Like, I'm just kind of like the giver of stuff that I think has worked in the past for me and my clients. But I'm very much a try it and see. If you like it, let's do it. If not, let's not do it. And let's not try and pigeonhole you into something, because I personally believe, like, no, I don't want my clients to train like I train, because I train a different way to how other people train. You just find what's right for the individual. If it's Zumba, or if it's whatever, if it's Tai Chi, I don't really care. As long as it's moving and we've made nutritional advice, or guidelines, then we're moving in the right direction. But yeah, handing out body weight hit circuits, which is usually where my anger gets driven towards.
I think that's where originally we started chatting over that.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like, a lot of people need to go and do some research on the research, and you actually need to read the research, and then think about how, because I work in a research community effectively, like the PTs I'm around spend a life looking at research. Now, I'm not the one pretending that I read research all the time, but I know enough. And I know people that do read a lot of research and look at meta-analysis and peer reviews. And like, when you read more than one piece of research, you can basically rip anything to pieces, and you can cherry pick what you want to find in anything. And then it's always a case of like, where does it actually apply? Like, if someone doesn't enjoy doing HIIT training, why are you going to make them do it? If someone's got a history of knee pain and back pain, and are they not moving, why are we going to make them do things that are really hard? Like, surely you wouldn't do it to, like, your sports car. You wouldn't just take it out and thrash the life out of it, but somehow we do it to this incredible body that we're in, rather than just sort of taking the time to build things up gradually. So I have very strong feelings.
I follow those feelings, so it's nice to speak to somebody who feels the same, for sure. Sorry.
It's just super accessible, isn't it? And everyone's doing it. It's on TV lots, and it's celebrity endorsed, which basically means nothing. But yeah, so it's a frustration that's not gone away anytime recently. So hopefully soon it might lose its appeal.
I don't think so. And not with what's going on in the world right now. It's like, whether you're trying to boost your immune system, get rid of your 15 pounds that you put on during the COVID, it's here to stay. So it is a matter of, like you say, making sure that you're giving the best information to the people that follow you, which I believe you do. I believe you do. Even if it is Hawaiian pizza.
I know, yeah. Well, I think people need to know, the truth.
Even coaches eat pizza. I like it. I like it. So moving on from, so you came to Ibiza about a year ago. However, do you remember your very, very first time in Ibiza? You were a coach by the sound of it still at that age, I imagine. But do you remember, what was it like when you first came to Ibiza for your first time?
I came in 2005,
okay.
and I came here with my brother on a boys' holiday.
Okay.
Ibiza's always had a very special place in my heart for the same reason everyone else is. And I met my wife, Danny, the second day of my first ever holiday here.
Really?
In Space.
Incredible.
So,
that's Space.
Yeah,
I love it.
Space, yeah.
That's incredible.
So
glad you remembered each other.
yeah. Well, I kind of stalked her. The story I tried to give a much cooler story when I was younger, but nowadays I'm just like, I just stalked her for like the rest of the holiday.
Yeah.
I remember the holiday very well. We got to London. We got to Ibiza on the Saturday, sort of chilled out on the Saturday, and then just saved ourselves for Space. And I met her during a Groove Armada set about 11 o'clock on the Sunset Terrace.
Cool.
And then I guess because it's Ibiza, I was young. It was the first time I met like the love of my life. So for me, Ibiza's always been a place that I came to. So we've got friends here. My wife, she was working here anyway, doing the sort of like summer season, doing flowering and stuff. And she's got friends that are concierges here and have set up like businesses here. So we always came at first for like the parties, and then it got to kind of like 2010, and we started doing the winters more, coming here for New Year's and being in here in the autumn. And then, and that's where we were like, maybe this could be home. And the conversations kind of started. So when London was kind of like starting to lose its appeal, Ibiza was the most obvious place to come and to try.
That's super cool. That's incredible that you met her. And then that's incredible. That's a good story. I haven't heard that one yet. Most people don't talk about their love of their life or their wife when they first come to Ibiza for the first time. It's incredible.
No, I mean, it totally ruined my my lad's holiday. But apart from that, didn't make any friends.
They talk about it still. Every time you have another anniversary, they're like, yeah, we remember that.
It was more the fact that the boys were all, I won't say what they were saying, but they were effectively saying that it was a holiday romance and it probably wasn't going to last.
Yeah.
It was the general gist of the advice that I got from my friends.
Sure.
So, which is probably quite sound advice in fairness. But I, lucked out.
Cool.
So,
very cool.
She
sounds like an incredible woman. I want to meet her one day.
Yeah, well. She's awesome. She's very clever.
Yeah.
And I'm sat next to her massive computer here.
Yeah.
So she's very techie. And in fairness, like I wouldn't actually have an online business without her, because she is like both the catalyst motivation wise, but also the brains to put together my website and my online services and email automation and things I didn't even know existed.
Cool.
It's
a yin and yang, right? It's like Ibiza as well. There's a lot of yin and yang in Ibiza. So
yeah, 100%.
Cool.
And it's been nice. She's freelance. I'm effectively online freelance. So we have that beautiful, we're in that sweet spot. We haven't got kids. We've got that kind of like nice moment where we can sort of do whatever we want. It's a nice place to be right now.
Cool. Well done. Excellent, Andy. From you spilling the beans on a bit more of your personal, I want to know a little bit more about your business specifically. So about your purpose and the people that you help with your business. So I know you have quite a list of qualifications, and from mobility to strength and conditioning to, even just like you say, level 3 PT in the UK. Who are the people that really, really benefit from your support and your assistance?
So I just through my work with I'm an ambassador for Lululemon, and I do a lot of work with women's health. So I naturally train more. I was naturally training more women anyway. Cool. in London, and then that just sort of naturally transitioned whilst I'm online. So I do a lot of movement and biomechanics, and I get to use that from a movement screen. So most people that come to me have got not necessarily chronic injuries, but more. They got some injuries and some niggles they're trying to work around. They've kind of exhausted lots of avenues, which is usually doing a lot of cardio, a lot of HIIT. It's not doing strength training, but sort of doing traditional style strength training, which often causes more issues than improves things. And they're kind of like getting nowhere with it. So I can kind of come in and just sort of like streamline what they do. Work through sort of some movement patterns, get them more mobile, get the nutrition in check, and work from there. As an in-person coach, I lean much more on my, I like to see movement. I like to analyze movement. I like to work out what's going on in someone's body. Online, I like to just sort of like streamline what people are doing and just make sure that there's always a lot of focus on training or nutrition. And then we forget like the sleep recovery, lifestyle, hydration. So I like to come in and sort of like do that more holistic package. And the second we start putting the program together, we're talking about the more holistic approach to nutrition. I try to not talk about nutrition from a numbers of calories standpoint and talk about it from a sort of nourishment and more of a holistic approach. And then, instantly start having conversations about sleep recovery. And then I see online is you can have much more accountability with people. So I can be messaging them 3, 4, 5 times a week, check-ins all the time. So I can, I feel like I can be more effective as an online coach, because in person, you can have the conversations about lifestyle recovery, but you're usually having it whilst the client's tired, thinking about the technique, taking on that sort of advice. So I never really felt like it was as in sync. And then when I started doing online, I could do that more. So I guess because I've been in the game for so long, and I've sort of had different, in my 20 years of coaching, I've sort of gone down very much bodybuilding route. I've gone down powerlifting and weightlifting. I've gone very heavy into nutrition. I've gone very heavy into biomechanics and human movement, just because the whole field sort of interests me. And sometimes I feel like it was a negative because I never really just picked a niche and just kind of like dialed into one thing. But actually now, 20 years later, the thing that frustrates me the most about not being very nichey and having a very obvious pathway with it is actually online. It lends itself really well because I can help like lots of things. I don't get sort of like pulled just into one direction. I can kind of help with lots of little bits. So I find myself being more effective. But yeah, I train exclusively train women who are effectively getting nowhere with training. I don't train people that probably aren't motivated to train. I train people that are motivated to train, just want to know how to make what they're doing way more effective. And it's my job to kind of like make it easier, not make it more complex and harder. So that's sort of where I like to work.
I find the online space, definitely people have to be like on the right path of behavior change, because if they're not ready to train, you can't, like you say, go and shake them and force them. But when you're doing stuff face to face, it's like people, I wake up every day and I get my personal trainer, but maybe like you say, they're not as, on the right path. So interesting. I didn't realize it was all women or mostly women, at least. Would you say 90% women?
Yeah, I've got two, 3 guys that I train online. And 2 of them are basically friends that I've had for a long time. And one's a new guy actually, who's from Ibiza. And I must say I sort of fell into it. Like it wasn't a natural, like I'm just going to do this. I was just getting a lot more, I guess as women got more into strength training, and my age probably helps a little bit. Like I'm not some 20-year-old guy in a gym. I'm 40 years old. So, I'm like, as much as I like talking to people and getting to know them, like I keep the sessions very professional and I make sure I help people. So I fill the time with mobility, we talk. So we always, as a group of coaches at the gym, there was like different tiers that you could work with. And you'd be naturally sort of selected by people because they hear the way you talk to clients. So I was very much about educating people with the kind of primary goal of you don't need me forever. I will just teach you how to do stuff, and you go away and you might come back to me if things fall, but you don't need me here counting your reps 3 times a week. That's not what I'm about as a coach. And I think that women just seem to naturally respond to like the fact that I would just say what they need to do and then let them go off and do it, because they like having their own, and when I was training, I had like having their own training space. They like just understanding things a bit better, understand the science rather than just kind of like maybe the nonsense of the industry. The bro
side of it.
Yeah, the bro science. And I lived that. When I was 20, I had that. So I've done that part of my life. It's not like I'm saying that coaches shouldn't do that. Like when I was 20, I was doing that. But when you get to 40, you've had those experiences, then you can draw the positives from it, and then you can blend it with other stuff. So I think I've had that natural ability to do that, and that's what attracted me to Lululemon and to Women's Health. And then so naturally, because I was writing for publications and I was doing talks for Lululemon, it just naturally felt like the right sort of move. And it was the audience that I was in front of more often than not.
Cool. Interesting. Very cool. And how do you know when you've helped somebody? obviously, besides, like a glowing review on one of your socials, whatever it happens to be. But what is the feeling that you get, or the transformation in your client, or what is it? How do you know when you've helped somebody?
Usually like a little text message, really.
Yeah.
Because I'm online.
Yeah.
Like I do, like clients see good results as far as losing body fat, but it's not a part of the industry. I don't often share client results on social media. It's not a part of much to my business coach's annoyance. It's not part of the industry that I like to be associated with. I'm more interested in people feeling more comfortable, more confident, pain-free, feel like life's a bit easier. So every day I get a text from my client that makes me smile and reminds me why I do it. Just little things, just like, I don't know, just some little piece of advice that we've worked on. Like my knee's not hurting anymore. Like my sleep's got way better. Like I noticed my skin's improving recently. I'm not sure if it's because I'm drinking more water. And like, these are all little wins. And it's that thing. It's like little wins stacked up. And I like the idea that I hope that my clients, by the time we finish training, don't need to have a trainer all the time, and certainly can sort of choose a bad trainer from a good trainer, or recognize the difference between the two. Because all I really want to do is just pass on a bit of knowledge, and then they can go with it. They don't need me forevermore telling them how to do it. So yeah, for me, it's definitely not like transformations are lovely. I don't necessarily think it takes a skilled person to make someone lean. It usually takes someone to be just quite hard on people. So I feel like what I'm doing is sustainable. If I hear those words, then I'm pretty much like done. Cool. I'm happy with what we've been doing together.
Lifestyle, right? Not just a quick fix, for sure.
Yeah, and people that are in for the quick fix are going to be always looking for whatever the new thing is. And those that have probably, and we've all gone through that process and come out the other side and been like, I just need to make moving my body a part of my life, and I need to make eating slightly better a part of my life. It hasn't got to be a diet. It hasn't got to be a strict workout plan. It's just got to be what's like the minimum dose to get the maximum effects. And if I can help people with that, then that's all I really care about.
Cool, man. I like it. I like it a lot, Andy. I like it. I want to thank you. You were the first one to highlight to me the move for the culture, which I took part in myself as well. And I want to thank you. I saw that through you. And also just making sure, it just again goes back to the movement, and also making sure that we are making our industry as diverse as we can. And I know, so I want to thank you for that, for highlighting it to me.
Mad, isn't it? Like I'll be the first to say that I didn't even think about it. And it was, and I've had some very awkward and hard conversations with people that I work with, and we've all had to stand up and be like, I just not even thought about it. Like we'd not realized, and hearing the stories that I've heard over the last kind of like 3-4 weeks and the conversations I've been involved in, I've been like, this has been very insightful, and it's something we need to continue, obviously, to talk about. So, and that's again the beauty of being with Lululemon and their ability to sort of put you in front of people, to be able to kind of like to open your eyes a little bit to the blinkered world that we've probably written in.
100%. And yeah, it's like I likewise been, but that is part of the problem when we weren't aware of it. So now that we're aware, we can make some change for sure. And I'm looking forward to the next one. And perhaps maybe it's something that we do actually something in Ibiza, not necessarily just online. Because I think there's people in that benefit from it as well. Because we're in a total bubble here, a total bubble. So yeah, but yeah, thank you for that. And we can continue to strive to be better, for all voices to be heard and all bodies to be moved.
Online's great, isn't it? Because obviously you can attract a greater audience, but nothing like, we all know this now. Like we are all craving human contact.
Yeah.
So I think it's, as much as it's nice to be online, it's actually even more powerful to hear these stories firsthand.
Absolutely.
And to share. So yeah, definitely, that sounds amazing.
Cool. All right. So my last question for you is your favorite warm-up before you go out of a night for dancing. So let's pretend some of our discotheques are opening, which
I know,
we'll pretend for 2021. What would you say? What would be a really good warm-up for people if they know that they're going to go spend the whole night on their feet dancing? What would be good?
Can I not say a vodka tonic?
You could start with a vodka tonic. I know you like a dance.
I do like a dance. I don't think anyone can pretend they live in Ibiza and don't enjoy a dance. I'm all feet and ankles. So for me, it's got to be something. I seem to spend my life on one foot doing what I call a clock circle, which is on one foot, visualize 12 and around, and you just kind of like do like a little mini squat and you mobilize to each point.
Try not to get your vodka tonic while you're doing
Try not to. I'm pretty sure I do that, like in DC10, try and clear some space and work around dance floor. Any kind of like multi-directional, usually single leg thing would be a great place to start.
Cool. Nothing for the shoulders. What happens if you're like a wild like?
I'm all feet and hips. I'm kind of like classic. I'm not overly exciting and adventurous in my body. Maybe like some shoulder cars, get the shoulders moving. I'm not so up here doing this. I'm more kind of like, I'm more down here in my own space.
Oh man, I really hope 2021 we get to go back to our discotheques for sure.
Oh, we have to. Like between the football, not being able to go to the football, and not that I live in the UK anymore, but football and no dancing is not ideal.
I can imagine. But we have the sea and the sand and the sun. So for that, we are grateful.
100%. Yeah. And I would much rather be in Ibiza than in my little flat in East London right now. So, very, very grateful to be here.
Definitely. So with that, Mr. Andy Vincent, I really appreciate you taking the time to have not a coffee, but definitely have a coffee chat with me, and for coming on being my 10th guest on Café Diem. So born out of lockdown in Ibiza, of a love for black coffee, early mornings, and well-being. This is Café Diem. And what I want to do now, which is quite interesting. So I had a 500-hour yoga teacher on last week, a fellow Canadian with Canadian roots. I've had you on today. And then next week, I have a woman called Layla, who's coming on from Omnia Bodyworks. And she is a clinical masseuse, and she is fantastic. And her thing is, what does she say? That she will help you take control of your pain. So she's not just going to rub you in oil and give you the nice feeling, although I'm sure she could do that if you wanted. She will show you how to take care of your own pain. And I swear by this woman. So it'd be nice for you to watch that next week. And so we'll go through some of how she started and what she does in Ibiza as well. So that's amazing. Layla from Omnia Bodyworks. And also, if you're looking to get a hold of Andy, he's kept it nice and simple for you. Facebook, Instagram, and the website, I believe, is Andy Vincent PT.
It is indeed. I'm not very, not overly excited with that.
No, that's fantastic. I think that's the best thing. And there's no underscores or anything. So if you're looking for Andy, you just simply have to type in Andy Vincent PT, whether that's on Facebook or Instagram, and then obviously add a .com if you're on the web. So very easy to go hold of Andy and see. Very nice website, I must say. So give your props to your website designer as well. Very easy to go through. So Danny, props to Danny. And if you're looking for Café Diem, I've done the same thing. So it's Instagram, Facebook, and SoundCloud, Café Diem Ibiza. Of course, you will be watching this back on YouTube. If you like this conversation, please like the video. You could subscribe and you could share it with your friends of interest as we try to build our coffee community and well-being community in Ibiza. So like I say, of course, I always forget to mention myself. I am Unconditional Love Fitness if you're looking for me on Instagram or Facebook. Also, a coach and a nutrition professional as well. So Andy, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being my guest. And I look forward to meeting you in the flesh over a real coffee one day soon. Yeah. And keeping it, pardon?
Amazing, sounds good.
Yeah, and keeping on top of the next hashtag Move for the Culture.
Yeah,
awesome. Definitely. Adios. Thanks, Andy.
Bye-bye.
Adios.